Hello, and welcome back to our marketing series. This workshop is on YouTube for Business, which is really exciting because it is an amazing place to promote and present and create content. And so it's my hope that if you haven't leveraged it before, that you'll give it some consideration and really learn how to promote your business in a brand new way. We're going to jump in real quickly with our purpose again and our content so that we do a refresh because that's important to me. So we are on the fifth of the sixth series. We will be covering one more, and I hope you'll tune in for that on leveraging LinkedIn. Of course, our purpose in all of this is to make sure you're competent and that you're growing and that you're building. We started with week one talking just about what is brand, how does it get out, what is your story, and are you consistent in the content, the verbiage, the identity, the marks or logos that you use, the phrases and slogans, those kinds of things, so that you're building some consistency in the marketplace. Week two, we talked about using search engines because search engines are where people go to find stuff, and this really plays along with that. But we talked specifically about places like Google and Yelp, where we know consumers go to find businesses or to look up real estate agents. Week three, we jumped right into real estate. So this is our first intro into what does real estate websites look like when you pull up your profile. And we really did an assessment of, are we showing ourselves to be competent professionals or is it sloppy? Are we missing information? Are we missing our headshots? Or maybe we don't have, again, those same keywords or mottos that we want to use in our marketing and brand into carrying that into the real estate websites. And so we cleaned that up and hopefully created some profiles that will allow consumers who are going specifically to those real estate websites to find you and like you and trust you. And then last week we talked a little bit more about, or a couple weeks ago, we talked about Instagram and how you can build following on social media, because we all know that that's a really popular way to share content that's engaging and help people follow you and get to know you and hopefully direct message you to use you for real estate services. So now we're going to jump into YouTube because this is, again, such a powerful platform. And for those of you that don't know, one of the things that I love to find out is interesting facts, but YouTube is actually the #1 search engine in the world. There are more people that go to YouTube either online or through the app to look for things. And I know we all use it. It's just become something so common in our world that if we need to know something, we're generally looking it up and finding out the information from someone who's an expert, or looking for a tip, or maybe we're trying to find a tutorial on how to create something or put something together. Or if you're like me, maybe you're trying to be, a great mom or wife, and you're looking for something creative to do, but you know you're not that creative. And so you're searching for YouTube on easy ways to surprise someone or easy ways to put together a birthday party. Those are the things that you're going to start to find on YouTube. But there's a lot of people that are going to YouTube to look for real estate information. How do you buy a house? What are the steps? What should I look for in an inspection? How do I handle a mortgage? What is the timeline? And people will search on YouTube for informational videos on or educational videos on real estate. And so again, if you're putting yourself out there and your content out there, you're more likely to get those views, and you're more likely to get those leads that are coming to you because they start to see you as an expert. It's also a great way to promote the properties that you or your brokerage has, and to create content that way so that, again, people see you in the field, or people see what you're selling, and they're able to find properties in a more just in a better fashion. It's so much easier to look at a video about a property, especially if it's a really well done video, than it is to just look at static pictures. People typically want to see more videos. So when you're creating those videos, hopefully you're also posting those on the multiple listing service, but you should also be considering putting them on YouTube and branding your own channel. So we're going to jump in and talk about how do you get started with YouTube. And the first step is that you've got to have a Google account. So if you did not know this, YouTube is owned by Google. And so when you have a Google account, which you should have, because we talked about that in week 2 with creating your account and building a business page on Google, Now what you have is the ability to use that account to sign into YouTube and create a channel. And so when you create your channel, you then have the autonomy to add content and to create kind of your look and feel, and to do playlists and all sorts of other stuff that we'll talk about. But first of all, you've got to set up the account, and it's a very simple thing to do. In fact, you could YouTube how to create a YouTube channel, and someone will literally walk you through it. That's how great YouTube is. So you're going to go to your account. You're going to create a channel for your brand, and then you're going to make sure that you, like with all these other websites, I feel like I'm a broken record. You're going to fill out all of the information so your profile is 100% complete, because that is so important for people to be able to find you. And then you want to follow the assignments and make sure, or make sure to assign the owners and managers to the account. So if you work on a team and you need someone else to have access to it, maybe you have a brand manager or a social media manager that you've hired, you want them to have access. Maybe it's just a spouse or someone who you want to have access in case you're unavailable, or in case something happens to you and they've got access to be able to work on that account. So those are things to consider as you're building your business up and looking at ways to delegate or leverage. I have a couple of people, including a marketing director, that has access to our YouTube channel. And so she's able to upload content and do edits and make the promotions that we need to have happen. And it's a really great way to, again, to work as a team. Next steps, this is going to be really huge. The first is going to be to design your channel. So if you've been on YouTube recently, you'll recognize that, like many social media sites, there is a header at the top, and it gives information about who you are, or at least gives an impression. That header should have a really vibrant image, something that connects with people, something that speaks to who you are and what you do. I've seen headers be company logos. I've seen them be backdrops. I've seen them include headshots of people. So whatever that looks like to you, you want to make sure you're designing that header. And then I would also encourage you to make sure that in that header, you have your brokerage name, of course, because that's typically a DRE requirement, that you acknowledge the broker you're hanging your license with. And then I would also put the contact information for your other social media. It's amazing how many people will find you on YouTube, but then want to follow you elsewhere. So if you're on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, those items should be listed right on the header. And I'll show you at the end a couple of samples of some pages, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Next, you're going to upload some videos, and I'm going to encourage you to get over the idea that these have to be professionally produced videos. They don't. Although YouTube is known for being more professional in that regard than maybe your Instagram Reel or your Facebook Live that is meant to be more casual, at the end of the day, it's better to have something out there than to have no content at all, waiting for it to be perfect. And so I want to encourage you to just be willing to take that first step and really put yourself out there. Whether that's sticking it on a selfie stick, or maybe having it mounted on a tripod or a ring light and then recording something, you really don't have to do a whole lot of production to upload videos and have your content out there. And I know a lot of people who really started small and have grown it into something better, but they learned along the way. They recognized that they weren't going to be a film producer when they first began. They acknowledged that they just had to start somewhere and then grow into the process. And so my hope is that as you get comfortable creating videos and then uploading them, that you will then begin to really invest in the skill set of developing maybe the ability to edit and produce better quality videos. For now, there are so many apps, and quite frankly, our phones are amazing for taking video, that you really don't need to have a huge skill set to just create a simple video that showcases something important to someone else and gives the information that they're looking for. So make sure you make plans in this next week. That's going to be one of my challenges, to create some video content that you can upload. And then the next thing is to create some playlists. These are ways for consumers to really find a series of videos that make sense to them. So for instance, in our space with real estate, you might have a playlist dedicated to your listings, which is fine, but that's not all consumers want to see. So you might also have a playlist for buyer tips, or market updates or a playlist that has to do with home improvements or decorating and remodeling. All of those are just ideas for playlists you can create that deliver a series of content that touch on different topics. So think of these as kind of your file folder system, if you will, where you're going to lump things together that are going to keep people on your channel and engaged. Because if they like the first video and it automatically goes to another video in your playlist, you're going to keep them on your channel longer, and that's going to help them get to know and like you even further. Any questions on those three so far?
No, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to keep going on. So you know me, I like to give you some ideas as you're getting started so that you feel like you know what to do and not what not to do. This one, I'm going to stick to the positive on what to do. First of all, follow some great YouTube sites. As with anything, the more you research, the more you know, the more likely it is you're going to be able to imitate greatness. And so I'm going to encourage you to find some sites that you really like and maybe parallel some of the things you do off of what they're doing. The next is making sure you're leveraging your brand. I'm honing this in because this whole series, this is regarding marketing. And so if you're not leveraging your brand to make sure that you're creating an image that people connect with, you're losing out. And so again, with that, what I'm going to encourage you to do is not just do the header that we talked about at the top of the screen, but also to create thumbnails for your videos. And you'll see how powerful that is when you look at a YouTube site that doesn't have any continuity to it. It just looks like a bunch of random things posted, versus one who has actual series of videos with thumbnails that all are consistent, and it draws your eye to them and it makes it feel more professional. So I'm going to encourage you guys, use a design template. I use Canva for a lot of my stuff, but you can use whatever works for you to create something. And then all you're doing is dropping in the new name or the date or whatever it is you're putting on that image. And I'll show you again some samples when we get to the end of this. And then last, you got to make it interesting. YouTube is entertainment. This is where people want to see your personality shine. They want to see something that's not just vanilla. And certainly they don't want to see all of the listing videos that you have made for several years with nothing else. I think the mistake a lot of agents make is that they try and just sell real estate instead of being helpful. And YouTube is really used to provide content that enables people to be empowered and educated. So think from the standpoint of what do I need to educate consumers on, rather than how do I push my newest listing that I'm trying to sell. Mix it up and have some fun with it, because that's really what engages your audience and helps them follow you, so that you can hopefully, as you post new content, get immediate views. The more subscribers you have, the more ability you have in YouTube to also create some additional features for yourself and your business. And you can even at one point monetize your channel so that you're being paid if you have enough followers for the video content that you put out. So those are some of the aspirations that some agents have, is to create that so that they've got the ability to create, again, a much bigger leverage. The one thing that I want to say about YouTube, and I love this for many reasons, is that YouTube goes to work for you the moment you put videos on it. And it continues to work for you in perpetuity. And here's what I mean by that. If you record something like a buyer seminar, or you record 10 steps for buying a home, and you put it out on YouTube, if you were to do that in a class or in a consultation with one client, you would be done and walk away, and it would be done. But on YouTube, it continues to live on. And so while you may have met only one person the first week, week 2, you might get 2 other viewers. And then a month from now, you might get 6 more viewers. And 2 years from now, you might have 137 views. And so it has a snowball effect without you investing any extra time or attention. And so the beauty of that is, if you can invest in your business to create some video content now, it will continue to work for you while you're out doing other work. And that's the power of leverage. So this is one of the reasons why I'm really big on getting content out there that will continue to be a resource, not only for others, but for your own business without you having to work extra. Next, I've got 3 more ideas for you just to help you with building up your channel initially. First is just go live. A lot of people like to see things that are live. They want to know that you're real, you're authentic. They don't care about mistakes. They just want to feel like they can connect with you. And so if you're out at an event, or if you're out at a listing and you want to promote it, or you want to talk about a day in the life of real estate, do something live and really help, help yourself. The other thing is making sure that your brand is consistently done. We talked about this a little bit. And then also follow others. It's great to share your videos on social platforms. It's also great to ask others to subscribe to your channel. When you start to do that, you're going to be able to see how things really grow, because the more subscribers you get, the more it's going to, again, prioritize you showing up in the searches for other people. So if you can initially get several of your past clients, your friends, your favorite vendors, such as your lender, title company, home warranty reps, to follow you and subscribe to your channel, it will really help you with boosting yourself and getting more traction. Okay. So let's jump into some examples, because I know on YouTube, it's really great to be able to see how different things appeal to different people. And so these are all real estate examples that I started with, because I really wanted you to be able to see some examples. And these were just clipped. So they're happening now. And obviously, as these different places change or update their header or their videos, it will change again. But this is a great example of just how real estate typically would work. And you can see each of them looks the same. When you land on someone's YouTube channel, they are going to have the same menu structure, which is easy to find. And they're going to have the playlists already going below their header and below their name. It also goes to show you how many subscribers they have. So you can see if they're really getting traction or if they're not getting traction. And so obviously getting the word out is the name of the game. RE/MAX has a great channel to follow if you want to look at content. Part of the reason that they have so much content is because they have a video studio in their headquarters. And so they're constantly recording new content for consumers and also for their agents. And they also do a series of ads every year. And so they have a media company that creates ads that go out on national television. And those ads are there to play. I love the fact that we have the ability to customize those ads. And so if you want to add those to your channel, I bring that to your attention to say that in RE/MAX Hustle, you can grab one of the RE/MAX commercials, edit it with your content name, phone number, and headshot, and then upload it to your YouTube channel as if you created the commercial. How cool is that? You have the ability to do something in 30 seconds that most agents don't have at their fingertips. And even for the ones that do have it, they don't really take advantage of it as much as they probably should. So if you're struggling with how or where to start building content, check out remaxhustle.com and create your first couple of videos there. And that gives you something to upload to YouTube immediately that looks professional and is ready to go. The National Association of Realtors is also a great website to follow. It's also a great YouTube channel to follow, because they also have, again, content. If you've seen their national ad campaign, you may have seen their TV commercials. It's all about who we are. And that theme resonates because they talk about what we do in our local communities, how we serve our clients at a higher level. And it really helps them brand the fact that not every agent is a realtor. And so if you're a realtor, you want to be promoting that message that we're different, that we've got a higher standard of practice, we've got a code of ethics that we follow, and we generally are the ones that seek out designations and additional professional training to deliver the results that clients like. So check out their playlists. And then, of course, I just did a quick screenshot of ours so that you can see it. We do a bunch of different series of videos. And so you'll see that we do have listing videos for our brokerage. We also have training videos. I have coaching videos on there. Classes that we've taught are uploaded, such as this one, which will get added to it. And then we have other series of videos for buyers and sellers. So if you're looking for good content and you just want ideas, check out some brokerages and see what they're doing. And again, rip off and duplicate. That's the name of the game when you're looking at getting started and you're just not sure what to do. Find something that inspires you and do your best to recreate it in your own way. All right. Recommendations. I'm also going to recommend that in addition to following some maybe industry legends or companies, that you also look at finding content that's really going to make you better. Again, YouTube was intended to be a platform that provides a service and an educational platform at that. And so if you are not looking at, maybe you're someone who likes to read or you listen to podcasts, I might also encourage you to consider watching some YouTube videos. TED Talks have become super famous, and a lot of people that can't afford to go or haven't got the time to go will watch them on YouTube because they're so powerful. Well, that's the same kind of thing that happens with a lot of the industry coaching programs that are available. They will post their content with their speakers or from their conferences, and you get the ability to just tune in and gain from all of that wisdom. So I encourage you to follow some channels that are really going to feed your spirit, feed your soul, feed your mind, and help you just become better. One of them that I recommend is Mobile Agent TV. They have a fantastic leadership, and most importantly, they're always putting out content that's relevant, it's professional, and it's geared towards agents and how to make you better. They also have some content for consumers, but really they are driven to help agents become better with video. And so they also have a fantastic group that you can follow on Facebook. And again, if you notice, you'll see that they have the logos and their other links to social media right on their header. This is the example I was talking about how you can redirect people to follow you in other methods. And so it helps you. And then Buffini and Company is one that I admire, and I think they put out fantastic content that's always uplifting. It's great to see what they're doing, how they're helping encourage agents to stay focused, to do better work, and to build relationships in a deeper and more meaningful way. They're a referral-based training company and coaching company. And so again, from a real estate coaching perspective, they put out some amazing content that I think can help you get better. And so those are just two of the channels that I would maybe recommend you subscribing to and being able to follow and gain wisdom from. All right, so let's get into tips, and then I'm going to show you one more example because I really want to leave this with kind of a wow factor, if you will. So again, don't be afraid to start small, but don't get stuck there. Take some classes to improve your skills if you're going to step into the video space. Get comfortable with speaking, get comfortable with the equipment, and get comfortable with possibly editing as well. Also, practice. Practice, practice, practice. The more comfortable you get with being in front of a camera and learning how to film, what angles to use, the better it's going to look. And over time, it will improve. I very rarely see someone who just doesn't radically increase their skill set by doing more. And so if you're in the mood to record a video, practice with all sorts of different lighting, different angles, different maybe recording devices, different audio, and see what works best for you and kind of figure it out. The best way for you to learn is just to play around with it and get comfortable with it. Then become proficient with some basic video editing software. There's a lot of great software programs out there. There's also apps you can use, but those programs are fairly consistent in the way that they operate. So once you have the basics down, you can utilize almost any of them to do similar functions and features where you can overlay, you can fade in and fade out, you can have graphics or words come up on the screen to make a point. So those kinds of things will help you with creating more professional looking videos. And I think it's a really good thing to have a mix, to have some that are done that are more casual, but to also have a few that are done that really show that you're actually competent and professional in this arena. Next, ask clients to subscribe to your channel. Again, make sure that you're putting out content that's of interest to them. But if you can get people that already know, like, and trust you to subscribe, it's a great way to build a following and help you grow your channel and get it exposed to a lot of other people with content. Next, include bloopers. I used to do this quite a bit when we were doing market updates because it seemed no matter how many times we would practice a script, or even if we had a teleprompter with, app going so that we knew what we were supposed to say, inevitably, someone would flub up or I would start laughing or something would happen. And I will tell you, with the video editing software, to just add some of those clips at the end, we got so many comments about that. And it was amazing how many people would tune into the next video just to watch the bloopers because they just think it's so funny. Um, People love to laugh, and they love that you have a sense of humor and that you can just take it with a grain of salt. It also really makes you human and it connects to them. So don't be afraid to include some bloopers. And if you mess up in the video, maybe just keep the video anyway. And again, it makes it more authentic. I can't teach a class like this typically and go through without making at least one or two mistakes. And I don't get the chance to rewind and start over. We don't get that opportunity in a conversation when we're sitting in a coffee house next to someone either. So that's just life, you know? And so I would not be afraid to include some of that stuff and just let it be. Showcase your personality. Also consider adding closed captions. They've made it super easy for that to be done now. But I will tell you, so many people need closed captions for a variety of reasons. But I'm sure if you've ever been watching a video and you're not supposed to be watching the video because you're in a room where something else is going on, you're one of those reading the closed captions while you're watching. So you know how important it is, because if you don't have that, you're swiping and you're watching something else, right? You're not going to stay on a video if you can't listen and there's no closed captions. So to keep people on your page and watching you and paying attention, it's really important to include that. Also, cross promote others. That's a great way to build your channel. So go out and interview a local restaurant, go out and interview your home inspector and talk about what they look for, what are the most common things they see in a home that is deferred maintenance. When you start to interview other people, those other people will subscribe to your channel and also promote the video. And so you get double the exposure when you're doing that. And it's a great way as you're getting started to jump into it and build some really good momentum. One of my good friends, Michael Thorne, who's taught many video boot camps, I've attended a couple of them, and runs that Mobile Agent TV channel, I will say, started with doing a challenge for himself and then challenged many others to do the same, and it became kind of a phenomenon. But he challenged everyone to do 30 businesses in 30 days. And when he started, he, of course, did not have any of the equipment, didn't know much about editing software, but he just wanted to make an impact. And he found that by going out and interviewing 30 businesses at their place, that he got to know those owners. They became very interested in him and what he was doing in the project. He created a community page highlighting all of these different companies. And so that drew a ton of traffic from the local community to find out who's the best, salon, who's the best local pub, who's the best Mexican restaurant. And through all of that, he created a huge following, and it became something great. So consider, again, cross-promoting some other people or businesses to really build your following. And then survey others. Ask some of your past clients or your friends, what do they want to see? If you're creating a YouTube channel, use the people you know to get ideas and then start working on those, because they know what they want to see. And if you're giving it to them, they're going to subscribe and then they're going to share it. And so if you're stuck for ideas, go ahead and ask some people around you and say, what would you like to see related to real estate? And then make sure, again, that you're asking questions, you're giving examples, you're just having fun with the channel. It's a great way to, again, to just get your personality out there, but to also provide something of value that helps educate people and gets them engaged with who you are. Sound good?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I'm going to show this video as a way to wrap this up. And this is by no means something I expect you to go out and create, but this is probably one of the best videos I have seen in the real estate space. And I really wanted to make sure that I ended on this, not to, again, have you compare or have you overwhelmed by it, but to have you imagine the possibilities of what you might be able to create. Because I can guarantee you this isn't the thing he did first. I can guarantee you that this is where he's come to because he put into practice these things and started. I'm also sure that he has hired a company who assisted with this. And because of that, you have the ability, if you're not competent or don't want to invest the time to become a professional videographer, to leverage yourself by hiring one. And you can create content like this when you show them examples of what you want. And so without further ado, I wanted to show you a great video that helps you see what's possible.
Can you hear it?
This to me is such a perfect example of a lifestyle video that showcases the home, but it's not about the home. It blends the lifestyle and what the home does for a family. And so it creates this emotional connection, which video should do, to draw the person in and want to watch it until the end. And what a powerful way to showcase a home rather than a very static video of panned rooms that are stitched together that really don't create or evoke the image of how could I enjoy this home and live in it in a way that's powerful. So again, I use that more for inspiration than for anything else. I want you to see that what we do is important and the way we communicate it is important. And when we start to have some creative um, juices flowing and put into what we do every day, a video montage of how that plays out, it can really create an impression for your clients or for your friends and family. And I think that's probably one of the most powerful things about video is that you hear the voice, you see the face, you smile when they smile. There's just so much more to it than a website can convey or pictures can convey if we really take the time to do it well. And so, with that, I hope that this has provided you with some ideas for how you can start your channel and what you should be thinking about as far as content for it. And of course, then what you may even aspire to create as far as video goes. Action steps, because I always want to walk away from a class with some kind of implementation. To me, if you're not taking action, then the learning is in vain. And so we want to make sure that you're getting better and doing something that's going to build your business. And so, first of all, you're going to create your YouTube channel if you don't already have one. Secondly, I'm going to ask you to design a header and some basic video thumbnails for at least listings to start. If you've got other ideas for video series that you want to do, maybe create a thumbnail or two for those. And again, take a look at other channels for ideas on what those should look like. They are fairly small, so you don't want them to be busy or overcomplicated. Third, upload 5 unique videos. Again, as a reminder, start with Remax Hustle if you don't already have something, because you can create a promo video in there for you. You can create a listing video in there for a listing you have, and you can create or dub one of the Remax commercials with your information. So that's 3 videos right there without having to do any work other than plug and play for about 30 seconds, your name, your phone number, or contact information you want at the end of that video. So check that out and get real comfortable with making those videos, and then put it on your calendar every quarter. Go back and do one of those. Even if you did one of those 3 every month on a rotation, you'd end up with a dozen videos by the end of the year that didn't take more than a couple of minutes to create and then upload to your channel. Next, share videos that you create and then ask others to subscribe to your channel. It's going to be really important for you to build that up so that you again get ranked and your videos start to show up when you're promoting things that you're wanting to build. And then last, think about networking with a professional videographer. It's really important that you also leverage your time, because your job in real estate is to sell more homes, right? It's not necessarily to create video content. And so this shouldn't be another part-time job. It really should be you just becoming skillful in a basic way so that you can create content as needed. But it's okay to also delegate. If this is not your jam and you just don't have either the interest in it or value it or want to build a skill set in it, then find someone else who loves doing it and partner with them. And that way you guys can create some great video content together. You'll also find that comes in handy if you're doing the 30 and 30 challenge, because when you're out with those business owners doing interviews, it's nice to have a videographer who can record things so that you can be in that video with the business owner doing the interview and not have to worry about maybe setting up on a tripod or doing the editing later. So consider finding a videographer that can help you do some lifestyle videos around your community, some interviews with local business owners, or some additional content that you might not be capable of producing at this time. That is it for my action steps. So any questions on this series for YouTube?
No.
Okay. Hopefully that means I covered all the content that is helpful for you to get started. And with that, don't forget, we're going to be coming back and doing the last of the series on LinkedIn. So make sure to check that out on our YouTube channel. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm certainly here to help, and I want to make sure that we are providing content that's helping you build a better business.